of the latest CTE study, 26-year-old Ravens offensive lineman John Urschel abruptly announced his retirement. A team source saying his decision was linked to results of the study. Just a few days after that, Giants undrafted rookie 22-year-old Jadar Johnson quit the game, saying he values his health. Last year, Bills linebacker A.J. Tarpley called quits at the tender age of just 23, while in 2015, 49ers linebacker Chris Borland retired at 24 after his rookie season. In response to the latest CTE findings, the NFL says the league is committed to supporting scientific research into CTE and advancing progress in the prevention and treatment of head injuries. Just months ago, the C word took center stage once more as supermodel Gisele Bundchen, the wife of Patriots quarterback Tom Brady, opened up about her husband's health during an interview with CBS.
An aggressive sport, right? Football, like he had a concussion last year. I mean, he has concussions pretty much. I mean, we don't talk about it, but he does have concussions.
The reigning Super Bowl MVP addressed his wife's comments for the first time on Friday. He said, I don't want to get into things that happened in my past, certain medical history and so forth. You're not blind to it as a player. You certainly can be put in harm's way. Joining us now is forensic and neuropathologist Dr. Bennett Omalu and former Kansas City Chiefs Kansas City Chiefs kicker Nick Lowry. Good to have you both here. Appreciate it very much. Dr. Omalu, I want to get your reaction first to the study and the most recent CTE findings.
Well, my reaction is that what we're seeing is not actually new. We have always known for centuries, beginning with Hippocrates, 400 BC, before Christ was born, that whenever you engage in any human activity whereby your head is exposed to repeated blows, there is a 100% risk exposure to permanent brain damage. The longer you play, the greater the number of games you play, the greater the number of seasons, the greater the number of years you play, the greater the risk. And that is why it has always been my position that no child under the age of 18 years old in the United States of America and across the world, given what we know today, should engage in the high-impact, high-contact collision sports. The big six are American football, ice hockey, boxing, mixed martial arts, wrestling, and rugby. I want every parent out there to know, if your child plays these games even for one season, there is a 100% risk of permanent brain damage. And the permanent brain damage is not just a CTE. CTE is just one disease in a broad spectrum of brain damage stemming from repeated blows to the human head.
Why the age of 18? That's just because children can make their decision ultimately, teenagers at that point as adults?
No. The age of 18 is when the child's brain becomes fully developed. When there is adequate myelination, the brain cells are now sufficiently developed to handle stresses adults handle. And also because of the age of consent, that is when you are fully cognitively developed to understand the consequences of the decisions you make. So it's not just a psychosocial justification or foundation, there's also a scientific foundation for the age of 18.
Nick, let me get you in here. You were, just at the Pro Football Hall of Fame induction ceremony in Canton, where the CTE study, as we're talking about, has been a big topic of discussion. What did you hear there from current and former players?
Well, there's first of all, thanks for having me on. I think today's players and the players of the past have a consensus, which is we are now finally far too late than what we would have preferred to be in an era where we're able to make some educated decisions. I interviewed 31 players at length. Dan Fouts, Tim Brown, Tony Dungy, Will Shields. All of these players said they would still play the game because it taught them so many fantastic lessons. The difference is today that players and would-be players have the right to choose not to play. They have the right to learn everything about what can happen to them. And frankly, as Dr. Omalu said, not only are head injuries an issue with regard to football, they are a worldwide life-living phenomena. There are so many people that have traumatic brain injuries outside of football as well.
White people so stupid.
And this evidence only confirms how serious
They
the
watch
situation is.
motherfuckers bang their heads
Nick, that the NFL says since 2002,
and don't think
47
that shit
rule
was
changes
causing
have been made to
problems.
protect players. What's your
Don't
feeling
even
on the
believe
steps
that bullshit.
the NFL has
They don't
taken
give a
to
fuck. They
address
just
this
want to
issue?
see the game.
Well, the real debate here is
They don't
simply
care
who
if you
is the
break
true
your
stewards
neck.
of the game. And I
As
believe
long as you
more
play
and more
good.
owners realize they're the stewards of the game. All of us are stewards of the game. We need to make educated decisions and face up to what's happening. So everything that has to
Some
do with
bullshit.
protecting the players, there are a couple things right now.
Ain't nothing you can do
The
about that
MVP
shit.
mobile virtual player,
You gonna
robotic
still
dog
have a
has
head with a
ended the
brain,
era of teammate on team
and that shit gonna
tackling.
still
And
rattle the
lastly,
fuck
that should
around
be
when you bang
universal in
into
the
some
NFL.
shit.
16 teams now have it in the NFL. That should be universal. But also, as Dr. Amalu knows, endocannabinoids are extremely important. They create functionally something of, for want of a better word, a cellular helmet. A University of UCLA Torrance study in 2014 found that those people in traffic accidents that were taking cannabinoids, not marijuana so much as hemp-based cannabinoids, are 80% less likely to die from a traffic accident. So there's some things today that are going to become.
Did you hear this
5
stupid
years,
motherfucker?
Rather than 10 or 15 or 20, multivitamins, if you will, for the brain and the cellular resiliency and plasticity, neuroplasticity of the brain.
Doctor, in December of 2016,
Did he
the Supreme
just cite
Court
a
cleared the way
weed
for the
study?
NFL to begin payouts of something like an estimated $1 billion in terms of a settlement in concussion-related lawsuits. This is a multi-billion-dollar sporting league. Is that enough money
That's
to
the
combat the
thing.
effects former players are experiencing in regards to CTE damage?
No, I don't think so. That is enough money. You know, I'm a Christian woman, Catholic. I strongly believe that even the life of one NFL player is worth more than the $19 billion profit the NFL makes. We can't put a value
That's
to
what
human
you
life.
believe.
But my position has always been not to ban football. No, don't ban football. Football should be only for adults. There are so many other dangerous activities out there in life. Adults can play as long as they understand the consequences of what they do. But children don't have the psychosocial prowess to understand the consequences that they do. And so as a physician and as a Christian, I believe strongly that in 2017, for such dangerous activities like football, boxing, ice hockey, that we need to protect our children from such harm. The child of just one life is worth more to me than the entire NFL put together. And just like we have done, there's precedent. The moment we identified that cigarette smoking was harmful, what did we do? We stopped children from smoking. The moment we determined that a glass of cognac could damage a child's brain, what did we do? We stopped children from drinking alcohol. So what is the difference now? We wouldn't give a child a stick of cigarette to smoke, but we would put a helmet on him, send him out to a field to sustain concussions, which is safer, or which is more dangerous, a stick of cigarette or a concussion of the brain. So this is a value judgment society needs to address, and that was why I wrote my book, to tell my journey, so that every parent should pick it up, read it, and then understand why I'm making this bold statement today on a Sunday.
And that book again,
Hitting him with that
on the
Igbo
screen,
logic.
Truth doesn't have a side.
And he's a
this has
Roman
been a
Catholic.
fantastic
And he's a
conversation.
Igbo.
I never had the
I
courage
guess
to go
that
out there
fuck
and
up that
play football.
Igbo's a
This
Jew
conversation
shit, huh?
without ever letting my
Damn.
little boy go out and do it. Dr. Bennett Amalu and Nick Lowry, thank you very much for being here. And stick around. We'll be right back.